On your mark. Get ready. It's time to go the distance. For sports news and sports review, get ready. It's The Pitch.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Pitch. As always, I'm your host, John Fox, alongside here with Mitch Sabbatelli. Now, for today, we have a very unique show. We're just going to cover Boston sports with all of the recent, success, glory. Yeah. We're going to start with the big one. Boston Red Sox win the 2018 World Series. They defeat the Dodgers 4-1. Opening thoughts, Mitch. Opening thoughts on the World Series.
Yeah, well, hopefully you don't need to use us for your news knowledge, because that way you need to either change the channel or go update your timeline.
You're living under a rock.
Yeah. But anyway, so it happened a little bit ago, but I think the Red Sox, obviously, they were the team of destiny. 108 wins in the regular season. Everyone thought, can they go over that first playoff hump? Because the last 2 years, they've won the division, then they lost to the Cleveland Indians and the Houston Astros. And once they got past that first round with the Yankees, I thought, we might have a good shot here. And then, all right, then you got the gauntlet of the Houston Astros coming in their way. But I think the big play of this whole postseason was that Andrew Benintendi catch on the Alex Bregman play. Yeah, as soon as that happened, I knew we were destined for the World Series. Obviously, before in in 07, you had to face the Rockies, you had to face the Indians. I think this was our hardest.
This was our first real challenge, other than 2004. Obviously,
with the Yankees and Cardinals, but even then, I mean, Houston. Since I've been a fan since 2001, I think Houston was probably the most, and especially this year's team was the most complete team I've ever seen. I mean, Justin Verlander is out there, and he's for the
whole year. For the whole year.
They added Garrett Cole, one of the greatest first halves in history. Yeah, Justin Verlander is a Cy Young candidate, and then you could add that to Cy Young Award winner Dallas Keuchel and Lance McCullers. That was a huge gauntlet to get past. They did so. And then they move over to the Dodgers, and everyone thought, this is going to be a cakewalk, but hold on a little bit. Maybe once they get to the World Series, this is the year. Dodgers are back-to-back NL champions. I think they might have a shot this year. And no, they take care of it pretty easily. And I thought, David Price was an absolute stud in that World Series. He told everybody after the post game, it was kind of arrogant how he did it, but he has all the cards now. He went out there, dominated. He was terrible in the first series, but he was really good in Houston and really good in LA. And he was my pick for the MVP because I know Pierce had a great last two games, but David Price was involved. He was a starter in 2 and came out in relief in twice, and also was in the bullpen for 2 extra games. He really went up to Alex Cora and said, I will do whatever I can for this team and put the team on my back. And yeah, the monkey's off his back. He is now a postseason pitcher, and he was absolutely incredible. He, as well as Steve Pierce, dominated that World Series.
All right, while we're talking about that, moving on. Yeah. X factors for the Red Sox winning the World Series. You said Steve Pierce, David Price.
I think it's Dave Dombrowski. I think Dave Dombrowski got a lot of slack that he didn't pick up a bullpen guy in that trade deadline. But, he came out there and he said, we have Ryan Brazier, we have Joe Kelly. They're going to be really good setup guys, and nobody really believed them. And look, Joe Kelly was absolute nails in that World Series. Ryan Brazier was incredible in the Houston series. And then, Kimbrel had his ups and downs throughout the series, but he was solid when it mattered, and he did get those saves. So the bullpen wasn't really too much of an issue. Of course, Matt Barnes was huge too. Yeah. But the big acquisitions of Nathan Eovaldi and Steve Pierce at the deadline.
I'm one of the biggest critics of the Red Sox bullpen.
Yeah.
Usually every year, because it's just really subpar, and they should go out and they should acquire these guys. And when they do go out and they do acquire those guys, it's people that get injured all the time and they never even play.
Brad Sealer, Addison Reed.
But nonetheless, they were ridiculous. Like seeing them come in against even the Yankees, lights out Joe Kelly. The only one I'm going to say here that was just, really just terrible and just lucky is Craig Kimbrel. Yeah. I mean, you're not destined to be a major league closer. I mean, if you're pitching in the worst division in the National League, maybe that's how he has the bulk of his saves, and the lower ERA in the National League. That's probably where he's gonna end up, somewhere in the National League within the next couple of months.
Yeah.
But other than that, the bullpen was just lights out. And every time, like Joe Kelly, known for being a very wild pitcher, he throws the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He's, either
He was excellent,
insane,
accurate,
dominant,
pinpoint
the
accuracy.
most dominant performance I've ever seen. Probably from a relief pitcher in the postseason.
I'm going to have to
World
agree.
Series.
I think Brazier had a little bit of an issue there, but they didn't really
Not
need
really.
him.
They got out of it. I mean,
They did.
When he did have an issue, he only ended up giving up a run.
And I loved how Corey used that thing, how if he knew that the starter was going to have the day off, he was going to put them in the bullpen as a setup guy. Nathan Valdi was absolutely dominant. That game that they lost against the Dodgers, one of the greatest postseason performances I have ever seen. And you know what? Right after that, he went up to Corey the next day and said, throw me in the bullpen. Obviously, they weren't going to put him in the bullpen, but that bullpen was absolutely dominant. And you got to credit Dombrowski for staying true with his bullpen, getting two guys with Evaldi and Pierce dominating in those last two games. 3 home runs and 4 huge hits. He would have been my second pick for the MVP. They chose to give it to Pierce. That could have been some media bias because they hate Price so much, but nevertheless, Pierce is an absolute stud that whole series.
Okay, sticking with this basically. Thoughts on this team in general? Thoughts on this 2018 championship team in general? All around, all areas.
Well, I think basically what you're saying is, are they the greatest team of all time?
What made them so special, basically?
Yeah, so
are they the greatest team of all time?
So it started when they signed J.D. Martinez. They threw J.D. Martinez into that lineup that really was needed a void ever since the David Ortiz
Which frankly, why is J.D. Martinez not in the top 5 for the MVP voting?
I think it's because of Mookie Betts and sabermetrics, honestly.
But you're saying
there's only three. There's only 3 spots.
Yeah.
So you got Betts and Jose Ramirez who played incredible.
So what? J.D. Martinez? Do you think they
should have been over Trout?
They kept him 4?
He was 5.
What has Mike Trout done for the Angels? I mean, despite him hitting ridiculously, he's not really a leader.
It's because of those nerds at the sabermetrics who go out there and whoever have the highest WAR.
So you're going to tell me Mookie Betts should have been in there? Okay, Mookie Betts steals 30 bases, bats 340.
Yeah.
But then translate that to the playoffs. He did terrible.
Well, this is for a regular season
until the final game.
This is strictly for the regular season.
I understand, but you're going to tell me that if we do not sign J.D. Martinez, we're going to go out there, we're going to win 108 games.
Nope.
We're going to win 108 games.
No, you're not.
And then lose 3 in the playoffs.
The thing that hurts J.D. Martinez obviously is the fact that
he doesn't play the field. But we're talking about value here.
Yeah.
We're talking about value. Talking about practice.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, the reason why Mookie had such a great year is because that lineup was completely formidable. You had David Ortiz right in the middle there.
MVP should go to J.D. Martinez.
I agree.
No doubt.
I think J.D. was the most valuable.
We don't have
J.D.
Martinez.
But I think Mookie.
Don't have J.D. Martinez. We lose to the Yankees in the ALDS.
Who was the best player in all of baseball this year?
In all of baseball this year?
Probably Mookie.
I honestly think J.D. Martinez
really
was just magnificent. 336, 42 homers. Yeah, he didn't play the field, but that's because they were keeping that core. The Jackie Bradley Jr.,
core.
Benintendi, friggin' Mookie
Killer
Betts.
Bees.
I mean,
the thing is that really helps Mookie too is that right field is the hardest right field to play in all of baseball. And by putting him out there, Buck Showalter came out there and said the guy's an absolute weapon. He's the greatest right fielder I have ever seen. Buck Showalter is one of the best.
But again, from a value standpoint, if we don't have J.D. Martinez, we're losing to the Yankees in probably the full 5 games.
Yeah, well, he had the big hit too. But
I
mean, you can't go wrong either way. I think Betts is going to win. Even if JD was in the top 3, I think it's in there. But like you made a good point. Once JD gets in there, everyone gets into focus. Mookie was great in the leadoff. Benny was number 2. And I think that offense is
having
so historical.
JD Martinez just changes everything. It changes
but listen,
let's go back to your original
question.
The opposing pitchers are pitching against the whole entire team as a whole.
But your original question was what was so great about the 2018 Red Sox.
Yeah.
And I think what was so great about them was their legendary offense in the regular season and all of their criticisms in the postseason. Will they have enough of a bullpen? Will Price be good? Will Sale be good? All of that was put to rest. In the postseason, all those X factors, they really shine. That goes on Dombrowski, and the regular season goes on Cora. So I think Cora and Dombrowski really made this team what it was. Altogether as a whole, it's a top 5 team in all of baseball. The only thing that I put them back on is because during the regular season there was some holes there in the starting lineup. Yeah. During the postseason, their best players Mookie and JD weren't as good as they were in the regular season. Yeah. But ultimately they won 108 games and won the World Series. So they have to be right up there in the top 3.
They definitely need to settle down on a permanent catcher, like a permanent catcher who's gonna play like 3 games in a row. like maybe even 4. I mean, Sandy Leon it's just a joke. It's just a joke to baseball.
Well,
to have a guy who's batting 170, who hits like 3 or 4 home runs in the span of a 162 game season, you're going to tell me that he's the greatest offensive catcher that any of the league
well,
has
that brings
seen
me to another point
keep
there.
him behind the plate.
They had
You're
me-
going to tell me that they can't just play Christian Vasquez
Yeah.
and Swihart? Are you kidding me?
Well, they had me. They wanted me. I was trying to go to the parade. They wanted me to go to the parade, but I wanted to go as a fan. So I see I go as a fan, and I feel so bad for that kid that broke that trophy because that catcher float that you said that they have no catchers.
Yeah.
Swihart, Leon, and Vasquez were drunk out of their mind, begging people to toss them beers. And this kid lobs this beer and breaks the trophy.
And they couldn't
wasn't
even
their
catch
fault.
it.
They couldn't catch it. And they're catchers.
Ridiculous.
That goes to your point that they really need a catcher.
Ridiculous.
But I mean, they did work it out. Do you really need that kind of a stud catcher when you have that kind of an offense, though? I mean, Vasquez had a pretty good.
How would it hurt?
No, you're right, but
just play Vasquez. I mean, at worst, Vasquez is going to bat like 240.
Out of all their championships, right?
Vasquez is going to bat like 240 with like 20-something homers.
was Veritek a really great offensive?
Vasquez is kind of clutch, too.
You had
Like-
Veritek for 2. You had Saltalamacchia for 2013. They never really had a dominant catcher.
Yeah, I know, but why not? Why not? You're going to
that's
tell me
on
that
there.
they don't have the
I'm
money?
just saying, your question was why makes them so great. Cora
With
makes
all
them
the-
so great in the regular season, and Dombrowski makes them so great in the postseason.
with all the players that we've given up in our farm system, you're going to mean we can't go out and try to draft some catchers, even for the next 5 years or something.
I
mean,
agree. Let's move on.
kind of ridiculous. Okay, all right. Can they repeat? Last question of this World Series, 2018 World Series topic.
Yeah, I have them as number 2 for next year. I think Houston's going to be their favorite. Correa had a down year. I think they're going to bring most of their starting rotation back, but you can't fault them just because of how good they were. Price already told everyone that he's going to come back. They're going to lose Kimbrel, like Fox said. They're going to lose Kelly, but they're going to sign Evaldi and Pierce. They're going to bring most of the team back. It's the year after that I'm worried about when they have all the free agency. But next year, I think you put them right there in the top 3 again. Do I think they're going to win? No, I think Houston's going to win, but that's just my pick.
It's tremendously hard to repeat in baseball. I mean,
One of the hardest things to do in sports.
162 game season, and then you get the playoffs. So I mean,
Playoffs, yeah, you're right.
got to win 11. So, all right, moving on to the New England Patriots. Okay, so the New England Patriots, they're 7-2 now. They just defeat the Green Bay Packers 31-17. It was looking kind of
Yeah, it was tough.
kind of like a wash in that fourth quarter until Aaron Jones
Yeah.
fumbled that ball. Thoughts on this game? Thoughts on the Patriots up to this point in the season in general? So
Yeah,
far?
it was
Thoughts?
it was an interesting game because, like you said, it was 17-17. The one thing Belichick does preach is ball security, and the one thing that Rodgers had a great game. He was almost had a better game than Brady in the first half. He probably did. But then Aaron Jones comes in there, has the costly fumble, and they were about to score there, and that was going to put them up there right at 24-17. That was a huge momentum shift. As soon as that happened and Brady got the ball back, they went down the field real easy. Josh Gordon looks absolutely phenomenal. He looks like his 2012 self. He's incredibly quick. He's in great shape right now. Great touchdown. I think Tom Brady and him have that great chemistry right now. I love this team. I do worry about that defense a little bit. As far as that game goes, I think that's a huge momentum. I mean, you beat the Chiefs and you beat the Packers. And that's two of the, at the beginning of the season, everyone has, all right, maybe Rodgers back healthy. I think they might represent the NFC. And as much as bad as that Packers defense is, Rodgers is arguably one of the top 2 quarterbacks of all time. And, he had that same kind of game. Tom Brady just outplayed him in the fourth quarter. And they look as good as they've ever looked. Are they the best Patriots team I've ever seen? No, but when they get real healthy, and as long as Josh Gordon stays off the weed, we're all set because you got Sony Michel coming back, Josh Gordon stays healthy, Rob Gronkowski stays healthy, Julian Edelman. They get Chris Hogan with all those targets. Chris Hogan's going to get more open spots. I love what I see from Sony Michel. I love what I see from this team. One thing that needs to step up are the McCourty brothers. Both Devin and Jason are terrible right now.
I'm going to say if your top defenders are the McCourty twins, that's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
That's very flaccid. Sorry, I don't even know if we could say that, but that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. I mean, what? McCourty picks off, one of the McCourty twins picks off Derek Anderson, who was playing golf a week before, did not have a job.
I didn't know he was still in the league, honestly.
Yeah, seriously. He picks him off for like an 80-yard reception, and they're like, the McCourty twins. Are you serious?
Yeah, they were
You
terrible.
serious? It's the Buffalo Bills, okay? It's the Buffalo Bills.
Well,
Patriots this year, probably the last 2 to 3 years, are the worst team in football pressuring the quarterback.
But you got to give credit,
so
right?
bad.
Because they did beat the Chiefs and the Packers. As good as the Chiefs were.
I know.
I mean,
it was just a shootout, though.
But that's what it is. That's
Those
what
are
the
two terrible
2018 MVP.
defenses going up against each other. Honestly, we play the Chiefs again. I do not see us getting past the Chiefs.
Best 3 teams in football right now are what? The Patriots, Chiefs, and Saints. Do they really have any good defense? You don't really need defenses too much in 2018. It's always a shootout. Best 3 quarterbacks in the league right now are Breeze, Brady,
All I'm
and
saying,
Mahomes.
if the Chiefs just step up their defense a little, it's a cakewalk for them. It's honestly a cakewalk. How many quarterbacks can you say in the league are better when they're on the run? Like, are you serious?
He talks
this guy's
but this guy's
about to run out of the the inbound, and he just friggin' throws up an 80-yard bomb to Tyreek Hill.
He was 5 when Tom Brady started in this league.
I understand, yeah.
And he's an incredible player. He's wise beyond his years. I mean, it's basically his rookie season. He played 1 game last year. He's incredible. I mean, you look at guys like Mitchell Trubisky, who's having a good season. You look at Sam Darnold. He's a rookie. This guy's basically a rookie, and Pat Mahomes is not a rookie.
Having said all this, are they the AFC favorites right now? And if they are, who are their biggest competitors right now?
Well, I'm not going to try to be overly
Chiefs.
biased. I mean, you asked me who's going to win at the beginning of the year. I said Houston Astros. Who's going to win next year? I think it's going to be Houston Astros.
Being
year,
New England fans,
it's tough. We had a parade
even if I
every 5
wasn't
months.
a New England fan, I'd say New England.
Yeah,
we've won the AFC Championship for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Well, this guy, I met this guy from Minnesota the other day.
How could you not? How could you not?
He was asking me where I was. I'm like, I'm at the parade. I'm like, he goes, yeah, the parade. I'm like, yeah, we have a parade every couple of months. I mean, we're so used to having parades, and that's why we're doing the show, because it's been 11 parades in 15 years.
We're some of the luckiest fans of all time.
Yep.
My grandfather passed away. He was 73, 74. Never saw a Red Sox World Series championship. 1918 to 2004. We've seen 4.
We've seen 11.
We've seen 4 Red Sox. Well, I'm just talking about Red Sox right there.
4.
We've seen 1 from the Celtics. We've seen 5 from the Patriots. We've seen 1 from the Bruins.
And let's talk about how dominant they've been in this World Series. They've just been running through it. But back to your old question, who I think's the most? I mean, it has to be the Chiefs. I can't put my faith in Phillip Rivers. I mean, they had LT and Antonio Gates in his prime, and he couldn't beat us. Anytime Phillip Rivers is a threat, that's good news for the opposing team, because Phillip Rivers is incredible garbage come the playoff time. And Patrick Mahomes, I think that loss might actually help them a little bit in the postseason, because if they had won that many games going to the postseason, maybe it humbles them a little bit.
It puts tremendous pressure. I mean, just
let me put it this way. Who's ever at home in that AFC Championship, either Chiefs or Patriots, win the Super Bowl this year.
Okay, all right. I'll stick with that. I don't think the Rams are going to make it to the Super Bowl. I think they're going to lose.
Jared Goff.
I think they're going to lose the round right before. But
he just looks dumb. Like, his face looks dumb. So I can't put my faith in Jared Goff. And Drew Brees, I can't put my faith in the defense.
That's terrible sports analyzing.
Have you ever seen his face?
I've seen Jared Goff's face many a times. Okay, all right. Moving on, but sticking with the Patriots, did they do enough at the trade deadline? Absolutely not, in my opinion.
I don't think they did, but they did a lot before. I mean, getting Josh Gordon, if he stays off any drug, then he's going to be an incredible signing. And that chemistry that he's showing with Tom Brady right now is it's flawless right now. I don't see any issue with Josh Gordon. And Tom Brady said he's coming in there. He was late, or allegedly late. Ian Rappaport put that out there, saying that he's going to be benched in the first quarter. And then Bill Belichick deflated all those rumors, basically shot discredit at Ian Rappaport, and played him in the first quarter. And he looks as good as he's ever looked.
You know what would have been good? If Bill Belichick had that mentality in last year's Super Bowl.
Yeah, with Malcolm Butler, you're right.
Yeah.
But one thing is, last game, they're playing Cordell Patterson at the running back. This guy is not even a good receiver, and they have to put him into running back. Once you get Sony Michel back, you get James White in the fold. You got Rob Gronkowski. They didn't have Sony Michel. They didn't have Sony Michel or Rob Gronkowski.
The problem is just keeping them healthy.
Exactly.
That's always been the Patriots have the little man running back. The 5'10".
Let me put it this way: if you have those 5 guys, if you have the Gordon, Gronk, Edelman, Michelle and White, I don't see anyone beating them in the playoffs. It's like you said, it's just about health. And I think they're trying to do that. I think they could have played Gronk last game. I think they could have almost played Sony Michel, but they're letting him go. And Sony Michel looks absolutely phenomenal right now. And now you throw Cordell Patterson in there, who can kind of be that gadget guy in between. Sky's the limit right now for the Patriots.
All right, last subject. Patriots versus the Titans this Sunday coming up.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this matchup?
Well, it's cool because, you got Dion Lewis over there, and Mike Vrabel
Can't
is
really
now the
say
coach.
anything's a joke now because, the Patriots did lose to the Detroit Lions. Matt Patricia, one of the worst defensive coordinators in the history of the game, in my opinion. Every Super Bowl we went to, he gave up 20 plus points.
Let's put it this way, though.
It is a Super Bowl. You're facing the opposing division's best teams, but
when Belichick faces other coaches that used to be in his coaching tree, Josh McDaniels when he had Tim Tebow, like you said, Matt Patricia, even now Mike Vrabel, you got guys. Eric Mangini against the New York Jets. They always beat the Patriots, and there's something to that. So this is a trap game, and if I'm going to bet on this game, I might take Tennessee with the points. With that said, I am going to say that Tom Brady and this offense is going to find the groove. I expect Sony Michel and Gronk back. Tennessee is not as good as they were last year. Mariota is one of the most overrated quarterbacks I've ever seen. The coaching staff, I do like Mike Vrabel. I think the coaching staff of the offense, as well as Mike Vrabel in the defense, looks really good right now. I just got to put my faith in Marcus Mariota. And there's one game that I want Derrick Henry to shine in this game. I think Derrick Henry and Dion Lewis are going to be huge for Tennessee. I don't see that happening because I think Dante Hightower is going to be able to stop the running game. And I think the Patriots end up winning this. But not as close as people think. I think they win by 9 points.
All right, moving on. We're going to talk Boston Celtics. Currently, the Boston Celtics are 6-4, off to a little bit of a shaky start, having Gordon Hayward back, losing to the Pacers and the Nuggets on the road.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this team as overall so far?
Well, it's cool because right now in Boston, this is the first time.
It's all about the Gordon Hayward transition back
it's huge
right now.
But right now, all four teams are in the top 4 or 5 in Vegas odds to win the championship, and that has never happened. If you could ever pull off that grand slam, I don't think it's going to happen. And one big key cog in this is the Boston Celtics. Like Fox said, Gordon Hayward is the X factor for this team. He looks incredibly slow, and also Jaylen Brown.
The Boston Celtics are notorious for shooting too many threes when they don't really have a lot.
They shot 34 the other game. You see that?
That's ridiculous. What was the percentage?
They got 26 to 34,
okay,
which isn't too bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But that should not be. That should never be a team.
26 for 34 threes?
Yes.
Okay, that's tremendous. That's really lucky. Okay,
yeah.
First of all,
and then after that, Jaylen Brown could not shoot.
Marcus Smart should never shoot a three in his life. Okay, refraining from swearing right there. He should never shoot a three in his lifetime.
And now Aaron Baines is tossing up threes.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's just terrible basketball. We're not utilizing the team.
But let's put it this way: that Denver Nuggets team is an incredible team.
18 seconds on the shot clock. Let me just shoot up a terrible three when we're up by
Jamal
10
Murray,
points.
that guy, he's like a frat kid right now because he goes out there and obviously everyone knows that you're going to dribble out the clock. If you're up there and nobody's fouling, you want to dribble out the clock. I don't know if you saw that game yesterday. He comes up there.
Gordon Hayward
he has
couldn't
48 points
in the Pacers game.
And he's
Gordon Hayward couldn't inbound the ball.
Right, but what I'm saying is yesterday, Jamal Murray has 48 points. They're all set. Okay, Denver. They already started the handshake. And Jamal Murray had to run up there and try to score again. He missed it, but he was. I mean, that just goes to show you that kid, if he's going to be representing the Denver Nuggets, they have no shot against Golden State later. As far as the Boston Celtics go, right now they are 6-4. They've been playing some tough teams. They faced Toronto, Philly, Milwaukee, who they did beat. Then they faced Denver and Indiana. That's a really, really tough stretch of games. To be 6-4. That's not terrible. Kyrie is looking really good. Tatum's looking really good. 3 players that are in. Marcus Morris is incredible. Could be the 6th man of the year. 3 players that really, really need to step up. Horford, Brown, and Hayward. Hayward's very slow. Jaylen Brown kind of looks a little bit lost. I think he's being very timid. Brown and Hayward are passing one too many times. And Horford is not shooting efficient shots. Those 3 really need to step up, take the monkey off of Kyrie's back a little bit. There was a stat line yesterday. Kyrie had 26 points. The next best at that time was 8. So somebody else needs to step up, and it needs to be Tatum, in my opinion.
Having said all that, do you think they're the first? Do you think they're
Are they going to win the East?
Do you think the Toronto Raptors are going to give them a fight in the East?
No, and everyone
It's
says
basically what is the question we're all asking right now.
It's very easy
with the acquisition
It's
of
very
Kawhi
easy
Leonard.
to have a job and not do that job for one whole year and then come back. He's very, very fresh. And Gordon Hayward had to. I mean, if the X factor for Toronto was Kawhi Leonard and the X factor for us is Gordon Hayward was literally didn't have a leg last year, and now Kawhi Leonard was sitting on his couch watching Gordon Hayward play.
And Gordon Hayward has broken his leg.
And Gordon Hayward's broken his leg. So if that's
one of the most absurd
if that's the big thing, everyone always
moments
says
in the
Toronto gets
NBA of all time.
Yeah.
You're tuning in. You're just like, this is going to be a great year.
Yeah,
Within not even 3 minutes, like
it was tough. It was I shed a tear.
Wow, shocking.
But anyway, so Kawhi Leonard. I mean, everyone says Kawhi Leonard goes to Toronto. It's going to make them the best team. They lost to Madar, who's a really, really good player.
Yeah.
I think Kyle Lowry is going to get hurt this year. Come January, February, I think the Celtics are going to rip off like 10 straight wins. And I think they're going to represent the East. With that said, no, it doesn't really matter because the NBA is a joke and Golden State's going to win the next 2 years.
Exactly. My opinion. I don't know about 2 years, but
They will.
I don't know. I figure the NBA will find if they'll switch it up a little bit if you catch my drift. But do we have time for cover
No, we got
one
2
more?
minutes.
One more. Okay. All right. The Bruins are doing all right now. Is basically what I'll say. All right.
Tampa's going to win anyways.
That pretty much sums up this episode of The Pitch. This 2018 World Series, Boston Red Sox World Series Championship Edition, Boston Sports Edition. So until next time, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, the works. Have a good one, guys.